Hi there ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan, and this is a video of my Blu-ray and 4K pickups for the month of April 2019. Now, I wasn't planning on picking up as many titles as I did, as late March I picked up a Sony 4K multi-region Blu-ray and DVD player. But what can I say? The voices were calling, as when you go to certain stores and online, they just make you want to pick up movie titles. So we'll get to the titles I picked up. And we'll start off with the Blu-rays first. And me being a Eastwood for Life fan, I had to pick up the US Kino Lorber release for a few dollars more. Classic Clint Eastwood spaghetti western directed by Sergio Leone, and Kino Lorber had put out the Good, Bad and the Ugly and A Fistful of Dollars previously, but this one finishes the trilogy of releases, and it comes with a brand new 4K restoration plus extra features. And this one is the one that Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef team up together to hunt down the bandit El Indio, played by Gian Maria Volonte. Pretty good transfer, but still not fully uncut, as there is a German release which is a uncut release, and it's a minute longer, but I won't complain too much on that because I do like Kino Lorber releases, my favourite US company. A few more spaghetti westerns that I picked up. Next one is a US Mill Creek release of a double feature of two spaghetti westerns. Not classics, but not bad, in 4 Yuma Gold, starring Montgomery Wood, which is his American name. Many of us would know that he is Giuliano Gemma. And the other one is Damned Hot Day of Fire, starring Robert Woods and John Ireland. And for spaghetti western lovers, this is quite a cheap pickup. Not sure if Mill Creek plan on releasing any more spaghetti westerns on their label, but I thought Yuma Gold is the better one, previously released by Wild East DVD. And Damn Hot Day of Fire is also known as Machine Gun Killers and Gatling Gun, and the movie is about a missing Gatling gun that everybody is after. But Robert Woods' best spaghetti western was a rare gem of a movie titled El Puro, which has never been released, and I would love to see that one get a official release finally. And the last spaghetti western that I picked up from the US, from Arrow Video in the US, this is Chioma, 1976 Enzo G. Castellari spaghetti western, starring Franco Nero. And the genre was kind of fading by the early 70s, but this one's a pretty good one, a essential one for the collection, and it comes with a 2K restoration, a new 2K restoration with loads of extras. It does come with a booklet, and this is the preferred cover that I've chosen, and the original poster. This is the new artwork cover. I did pick this up from Diabolic DVD online. Very good site in the US where you can pick up cult movies. There is Franco Nero. Do like that artwork. And this is the booklet. Franco Nero did star in a Eureka movie directed by Enzo G. Castellari named Street Law, which is another good one that I picked up a few months ago from Code Red. And there is Woody Strode. He was the actor who played one of the gunfighters who was waiting for Charles Bronson at the train station in the long opening scene of Once Upon a Time in the West. And Chioma is a very dark and gloomy spaghetti western where Franco Nero plays a half-breed, and he returns from the Civil War to the town where he used to be brought up on, and he discovers that the town is very ghost town like, because everybody is hiding away because many of the locals have caught the plague. And also in the spaghetti western, another well-known spaghetti western actor, William Berger, featured in many of the top spaghetti western movies from the 60s and 70s. And a slightly annoying thing about this movie is the overplayed theme tune, in my opinion. But other than that, it's a very good spaghetti western from the 1970s, Chioma. The next two are American westerns that I picked up from my local CX store. This is Doc, early 1970s, starring Stacy Keach and Faye Dunaway. Stacy Keach plays Doc Holliday and Faye Dunaway plays Katie Elder. Never seen this American western, but this was a cheap buy. Did like Stacy Keach in the crime drama The New Centurions, and also the Walter Hill western The Long Riders. The last western that I picked up is the Michael Cimino western Heaven's Gate, and this is the UK release. I was planning on picking up the Criterion release of this movie, but that's a little bit more expensive. It stars Chris Christopherson and Christopher Walken, and Michael Cimino, a director that I like watching. Directed the Clint Eastwood movie Thunderbolt and Lightfoot in the early 70s, then Deer Hunter, and then also like the Mickey Rourke movie Year of the Dragon. But this epic movie was criticised by the critics. It's quite a long one. I've never seen this one before. I thought it was about time. But guys, if you've seen Heaven's Gate, what's your opinion of this western? Was it that badly received? Next one is a very underrated Richard Donner movie. This is 16 Blocks. Director Richard Donner made some great movies in Lethal Weapon, the original Omen movie, and Superman, and also the kiddies' favourite, The Goonies. But 16 Blocks is not a bad cop drama starring Bruce Willis and rap star Mos Def. I remember watching this one and thought it was a much better movie than I expected. Bruce Willis plays a burnt out drunken cop who gets given the job to escort a fast talking criminal played by Mos Def. A good performance actually, where he has to escort the criminal to a courthouse 16 blocks away. But very good movie, this one. Gripping drama of two different characters from two different sides of the law in 16 blocks. Next two are two Denzel Washington movies which Tony Scott, the British director, directed. And this is the remake, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, starring Denzel Washington and John Travolta, and also James Gandolfini. Tony Soprano from the TV series, he pops up in this as the mayor. And this is the remake. Never seen the original, made in the 70s, starring Walter Matthau. But I actually enjoyed this one. Did like the role played by John Travolta of the sarcastic villain in this one, where they take a group of hostages in a subway or tube station. Good movie. And the next one is Unstoppable, which actually Denzel Washington made shortly after the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. And this movie also features a train. And this movie also stars Chris Pine. But predictable, fun and good action, but not as good as some of the other movies like Man of Fire and also Deja Vu. I need to pick up as well. A Walter Hill movie that's always been on my wanted list is the 1980s movie Southern Comfort. And Walter Hill, another director that I rate highly, director of Hard Times and 48 Hours and Red Heat. This one stars Keith Carradine, Powers Booth and Fred Ward, about a group of US National Guardsmen. They get taken away in an isolated weekend where they're trying to boost their skills, training skills, and near a Louisiana swamp they upset the locals, and then they are fighting for survival. Powers Booth, good actor. He also popped up in another Walter Hill movie with Nick Nolte, Extreme Prejudice, that I'm trying to hunt down. And he was also in the Deadwood Western TV series. This is the UK release of Southern Comfort. The next two are Eureka releases. This is the 1950s epic, The Vikings, directed by Richard Fleischer, starring Kirk Douglas, Tony Curtis and Ernest Borgnine. And Richard Fleischer also directed 2000 Leagues Under the Sea. He also directed a couple of favourite movies of mine from Arnold Schwarzenegger and Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson movie Mr. Majestic, and the Conan remake, sequel I should say, to Conan the Barbarian in Conan the Destroyer. This epic movie brought back many memories of watching this movie. My father used to like the old epic movies from the 50s and 60s. There is Kirk Douglas with that famous chin, the dimple, still going strong, over 100 years old now. And that is the original cover of the Vikings. It does come with a booklet, which I'll briefly show. Some artwork. And I do need to pick up a few more Kirk Douglas movies. Paths of Glory is on my wanted list. A young Tony Curtis. And these movies, they always used to use hundreds and thousands of extras, unlike today where they use a lot of CGI. Nice booklet and some poster shots. Do like the old artwork of the movie posters. This was a cheap buy in CX as well. The Vikings, Kirk Douglas epic. The next Eureka title is The Friends of Eddie Coyle, starring Robert Mitchum, and this is the Masters of Cinema series, numbered 121. And it's actually a few times I looked at this but never picked up, but this time I actually realised it's directed by Peter Yates, the director who directed the classic Steve McQueen movie Bullet, and straight away I had to pick this one up. 1970s crime thriller starring Robert Mitchum. Comes with the booklet, DVD and Blu-ray. This is about a Boston criminal. I do like my crime movies from the 70s and 80s. Some Arrow titles next. 1960s crime thriller noir movie, The Killers, directed by Don Siegel, who was well known for directing the very first Harry Callahan Dirty Harry movie, Dirty Harry. This one stars Lee Marvin, Angie Dickinson, John Cassavetes, and also former US President Ronald Reagan. It does come with a booklet, an alternative cover. There's Angie Dickinson. She later appeared in another Lee Marvin movie, Death Hunt, with Charles Bronson also. Don Siegel, he worked with plenty of tough guy actors, Charles Bronson, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin and Walter Matthau. But Lee Marvin plays a hitman in this one, a role he played a few times. There is the former US President Ronald Reagan. And actually this was supposed to be a TV movie release in the 60s, but it was a little bit on the violent side. Do need to pick up a few more Lee Marvin movies, an actor that I used to like watching. This is a Arrow Academy release. There is the former president. of the United States. The Killers. Another Dario Argento movie. And I kind of sort of hit and miss with these Italian horror giallo movies. Dario Argento, the director of The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which I enjoyed, and Suspiria. This is a movie he made in the 1980s. This comes with the booklet also. Most of the Arrow releases I try to pick up with a booklet. And the other cover. Inferno. Next title is a Tobe Hooper movie that I remembered renting back in the VHS days, and this is Life Force, set in London, about space vampires. This one's a mid 1980s movie. Actually, it was a Canon movie. There's two cuts of the movie, as the extended cut does come in this release, and the extended cut is 15 minutes extra. And Tobe Hooper, more known for his movies like the horror classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist, and also the TV movie Salem's Lot. And I also enjoyed watching recently Eaten Alive, which was a lot of fun. And there is a scene, as it's set in London, of a London bus getting blown to bits. But I actually can't remember watching this movie. And Patrick Stewart has a part in this movie from the old Star Trek TV series of movies. So that is Life Force. Next movie is a Tom Hanks movie that I've never seen, and it's from the 1980s. And I'd seen the majority of his movies in the 80s, as most of the movies he'd done were comedy movies in the 80s. Tom Hanks, like The Money Pit and Bachelor Party, but never seen The Burbs. Comes with the booklet. Tom Hanks with his fluffy hair in the 80s. Quite a popular movie, this one, I've been told, from a lot of Tom Hanks fans. Also starring Bruce Dern. There he is, Bruce Dern. To me, I always remember him as the guy, the actor who killed John Wayne in a western, in the early 70s western, The Cowboys. This is kind of like a neighbourhood movie. There's Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. There's many releases of this movie. And after the 80s, Tom Hanks turned into be a more serious actor in roles like Forrest Gump, Cast Away, Philadelphia, and Saving Private Ryan. And who would have thought that after his comedy roles in the 80s to become one of the top Hollywood actors in demand, the Burbs. And the last Arrow pickup is a mid-80s Kevin Costner movie that gets hate, but I absolutely love this movie. Also starring Dennis Hopper. And tried to pick up the UK release of this collector's set, but that got sold out. Had to pick this one up from the US. Comes with a 60-page booklet and extended cut of the movie, an extra 40 minutes, loaded with features, and it's near the 3-hour mark of this blockbuster, which kind of flopped at the box office, but I enjoyed it back in the VHS days, and I might do a unboxing of this great release from Arrow Video. The next title is the first movie that I've actually picked up in a pound shop, and it's High Road to China. Picked this one up for £2. And many times I've popped into local pound shops. They've never had movies, well, to me, I thought about picking up, but this one, Tom Selleck movie, which is kind of like a Raiders of the Lost Ark rip-off, a romantic adventure movie. And actually Tom Selleck had been offered the part of Indiana Jones, which he turned down, and then shortly after he got offered this part, which he jumped on. And it's not as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's not a bad watch. And they also did do another romantic adventure movie in the Romance in the Stone and the Jewel in the Nile movies, which were fairly similar. But I don't mind Tom Selleck movies. Need to pick a few up, like Quigley Down Under, An Innocent Man, and Runaway. Next two pickups are German media books, and I want to send a big shout out to a guy who I subscribe to, and it's Horror Fan Man from the UK. We know him as Grant, and watching his videos I didn't realise that these media books existed, and they are the Nightmare on Elm Street German media books, which DVD and Blu-ray combo. I've always said that we need a proper collector's set of the Elm Street movies. I know there is a UK and US Blu-ray box sets, but they're very piss poor and real lazy efforts. But watching Grant's videos, that's when I noticed about these beautiful media books. It does come with an English audio, and they are limited and going for big money, especially the first couple of movies, which is why I jumped on them. My favourite serial killer in Freddy Krueger, and once I will get the whole set, I might do a video and open them all up. But many thanks for sharing the videos of the media books, Horror Fan Man. Check out his channel, big collector in horror movies and Arrow Video. I will share the link to his channel down below. And I also picked up Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. And the third movie, to me, had the best kills in the movie for me. And this one is still sealed. And the last two titles are 4K pickups. Picked up the Alien 40th anniversary Xavi Steelbook. Classic sci-fi horror movie directed by Ridley Scott. There are the special features. Probably Sigourney Weaver's most well-known role as Ripley. I do hope that they release Aliens as well. Simple but effective steelbook. And everybody should have this movie in their collection. You can still pick this up on Xavi. Must have. And the last one is a Steven Spielberg war drama that I'm embarrassed to say that I've yet to see, Schindlers List. A movie I've always wanted to watch. Winner of many Academy Awards, starring Liam Neeson and Ben Kingsley. And actually I was going to only pick up the 4K Amaray release, but an extra £5. I went back and exchanged it for the collector's 3-disc set, including the booklet, poster and art cards. Steven Spielberg, he really disappoints as a director, and I will be doing an unboxing of this fairly soon also. So that is all my movie pickups for the month of April 2019. And I'll finish the video showing off the Sony 4K multi-region Blu-ray and DVD player that I picked up from a site, Multi-Region Magic. They do have a shop in Peterborough. Recommend these guys, they are the experts in multi-region. And this is the Sony UBP X700. I will leave the link to their site. Do check them out if you are thinking of going multi-region. So guys, check out the channel of Horror Fan Man also, and this site, Multi-Region Magic, and the links down below. Till the next video guys, stay healthy and well, and as always, keep on collecting.